and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Ailey. Today's video, as you can probably see by the title, we're going to be talking about the Vault collection and I am so excited. I literally got this yesterday and I didn't really know how I was going to structure this video slash these videos because I really think that each of these palettes deserves its own eye look, it deserves its own swatches, and it deserves to be treated like an individual because there are 4 palettes. Now, these are the 4 palettes here. Yes, I got the entire collection. They come in this little box here, which has got this cute little ribbon in it just to help you sort of pull them out. And yeah, it's £49 from the Morphe website. The last I checked, it was still in stock in the UK site anyway, but I'm not sure if it still is now. Before we get started, I know there's a lot of people that are having issues with these palettes. Now, I can't speak for that because as you can see by the look that I have on just now, mine worked pretty well. 2 that I've used is Bling Boss and I'm pretty sure it's Armed and Gorgeous. So those 2 I can say for definite are good. They are really good quality. If it makes any difference to anyone, now I know there's a lot of things going around like with V2 and stuff like that written on the boxes. Because this all came in a box like this and it's got Jaclyn's picture on the back and then obviously this came inside the box, I had a wee look at this box because I thought, I wonder what that's all about. So I had a look and sure enough it says V2. Whether or not that does make a difference, I don't know. Maybe Jaclyn, I think that she addressed it and she said it doesn't make a difference, but I know a lot of the people that are saying that they got ones without that on it and they were rubbish, so I don't know. I just thought I would let you know because mine have been so good so far. They do have the V2 on the bottom. Whether it makes any difference, I don't know. So everybody knows all about these palettes. If you don't, I'm sure I'll link Jaclyn's video down below. I'm sure that she can explain it better than anybody else can. So I'm just going to kind of jump into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video for each palette and then I'll do a kind of culmination video at the end and basically tell you my full thoughts on each palette, because in between times I'll be using the palettes and I'll be able to get like a full sort of idea of how each shade works. I've used Top Secret, I've used Secure, I've used Access, and I've used Coin, and I've used Guilt Trip. I've used a little bit of Classified as well. Now, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, fantastic, amazing shades. This one's a little bit of a nightmare just because it's a little bit harder pressed and it's a little bit harder to pick up and then blend. It doesn't perform as well as the rest, let's just put it that way. So yeah, but overall this palette's phenomenal. I love the shades in it. It's a very it's sort of warm toned, but it's very sort of yellowy, greeny, earthy shades. I'm gonna kick over to the tutorial part, or not the tutorial part, but the demonstration part of this now before I end up sitting here talking for hours and hours and hours. But before I do that, I am gonna get up and put my arm in front of the camera and do some live swatches for you. Just doing this just for the sake of it. Some I think swatch better than others. I think that it shows the shadow a lot better when you see me apply it to my eye. So I'm going to do the swatches just because I know a lot of people like them, but I would say watch the demonstration section of this video next. But here's the swatches anyway. Okay, so here is my arm. I don't know how people do this. This is a total nightmare. But anyway, that is VIP for you. This next shade is Axis. Now I can't put a lot of pressure on these swatches either, not the swatches on the pan, because the pan's sitting, or the palette is sitting on my desk and I don't have another hand to hold it down with. So really I'm just sort of, I'm not putting an awful lot of pressure on top of it. So that last shade there was Guilt Trip and this one is Coin. Okay, so the next shade is Agent. This one is a little bit more patchy, it doesn't swatch so well. The next one is Top Secret, and it's the same. It's not the best, but wait until you see the demo and you'll see how it actually performs. This one is Smooth Criminal. Same again, when I'm being really sort of gentle on it, it's not swatching the best. And then we'll go for Secure, Prowl, and then Classified. I wanted to do this just like the one swipe, the kind of really brutal way of doing swatches that everybody's always so focused on. Mid-sentence, but I'm back. Yeah, everybody's so focused on, oh, you're being too hard on the pan, you're rubbing your finger around too many times. I think that that's absolutely ridiculous, because at the end of the day, swatches mean shit. They mean nothing. So, you know, I mean, some people genuinely are getting really crappy palettes, and I feel really, really bad for you, and I really hope that you get them exchanged. But at the end of the day, these swatches, I mean, they're decent. They're not, I hate doing that and then the swatches all go weird. But these swatches are like decent. They're not bad by any means, but I wouldn't say that the palette's going to be phenomenal. Apart from the shimmer shades are swatching phenomenally. But I would say that, you know, I wouldn't be kind of expecting miracles from this palette. So we're going to go over to the demonstration now, and you will see how these shadows perform. So I'm going to go in with the Armed and Gorgeous palette. That's this one here. It's got this amazing green colour that I'm just so drawn to. Let's see. I'm going to go in with my Morphe M502 brush, and I'm going to pick up the shade Access. My lids aren't really all that primed. I've pulled my foundation up onto them, but I haven't used a specific primer or anything like that. So with this shade, I'm just pulling this right up to underneath my eyebrow. If you've watched my channel in the past, you'll know I've said that I pull my shadow up really high just because, well, I don't have a lot of lid space. So if it's not up here, you're not going to see it. Here, I'm just really doing a guide. I'm just putting down a sort of base colour. I don't really want to intensify that too much because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. Then I think, so that was Access, and then I think I'm going to go into Secure over here. This is a really orangey shade, and I'm just going to put that sort of up high in my crease. I'm going to do a sort of spotlight tutorial, or look even. It's not really a tutorial. It's just really so that you can see how these palettes perform. So I want to pull this right over into my inner corner. When I touch into these shadows, I'm literally doing that. I'm not swirling, I'm not dipping in a million times, I'm literally dipping in once, because if you dip in more than once or you swirl it, you're just going to get a mountain of pigment, and it's just going to go everywhere. So now that I've done that, I'm going to grab, don't mind this, it's stained purple just because it's a white brush and I used it for one of the other palettes yesterday. So I'm going to pick up Top Secret, which is this amazing green shade, and literally I am just pressing the brush into the palette. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm pressing it onto my eye. So I'll do like a little press in the palette, and then I'll press it onto my eye where I want it. Now, I know there is a lot of like controversy. There's a lot of people saying that their shadows are rubbish and stuff like that. That's one little swipe. It doesn't swatch the best at all. I mean, it does look really patchy, but you pat the brush in it once, twice, and that's the kind of pigment you're getting. So you can kind of deduce from that what you want, but that for me, I don't really care how it swatches if this is how it performs. So they are a little bit more difficult to blend, the really high pigment shades, you know, like these darker ones. But I haven't used all of them. It's just really this green one that I've used, and I probably ended up in talking there taking too much. But they are really easy sort of to blend, you know, kind of out if you use a big fluffy brush. But I have no problems with that at all. I mean, that went on beautifully. I'm just going to do the same on the inner corner. And I really like this brush. I mean, look at that. That was 2 taps. So, I don't know, maybe there are still palettes out there that aren't really the best quality or whatever, but I definitely got a really, really good quality palette for this one anyway. You will see in my other videos how the other ones perform as well. So I'm just going to take this same brush and dip into Access and blend that right up at my eyebrow. Just so that that sort of fades out into that yellowy mustard shade. I love that shade. And then I'm just going to take the tip of this brush, I'm just wiping it off on a sort of face cloth, and right where the green meets the yellow, I'm just going to pop this. And I'm finding that doing it this way prevents any muddiness. That's not limited to this palette, it's not limited to this collection. I'm just finding with any eye look I do, if I do it this way, it sort of stops me from blending it all out and all mixing into one. So yeah, I just kind of go back and forth and kind of get this looking how I want it. I think I'm going to take a little bit of Classified, that's this one here. I'm going to take my pinky and I'm just going to blend, I don't know if my pinky's going to be small enough. Not really. Okay, so my pinky's not small enough, so I'm going to have to take a brush. This is just a little sheer cover brush. Classified's a little bit stiffer than Coin and Guilt Trip and VIP, so I'm picking a little bit up on my brush, I'm giving it a little bit of a spray, and I'm just going to put this sort of at the edge of the green. I just want a little bit of a guide just now. I'll probably end up tweaking this a little bit. And then I'm going to grab a Guilt Trip and I'm going to use the brush I used yesterday, which is the Morphe M156. Now, this is Guilt Trip here, and I'm actually going to pick this up with a brush, and yeah, I didn't think this would work either. And this is kind of one of the only shadows that this has ever worked with. But this brush is completely dry. My eyelid doesn't have any more primer on it. It doesn't have any concealer or anything like that on it, and believe me, I was astonished by this. So I literally want to place this on that sort of middle section that doesn't have an awful lot of green. No Fix Plus, no wetting it with anything, no primer underneath, no glitter glue underneath. With a brush, Guilt Trip and Coin next to it, because I used that the other day as well. Apply with a brush. And they apply like that. That's amazing. I mean, I was kind of at the stage where I was seeing other people's reviews and I was a little bit worried, and I was like, oh shit, I've just spent £49 on this. Is it going to come? Is it going to be rubbish? No, it's flipping gorgeous. I mean, even for these couple of shades, I'm thinking this was definitely worth buying. And then I'm going to go back into Classified. I'm actually going to use the other end of this brush. It's just like a teeny tiny wee one. And I'm going to go back into Classified, and I'm just going to add that to sort of the outer. I'll say that this one is a little bit harder to work with, so I'm going to pick it up with a brush. I think it would be okay applied with your finger, because going by the swatch, it does swatch reasonably well. But like I was saying, the little bit that I want to put it on is too small for my finger. I think I'm going to take Guilt Trip and I'm going to put it in my inner corner as well, because I was going to do VIP, but VIP is very icy white. So I'm going back into Guilt Trip, and this is just a Morphe M560 brush. And I'm going to put that just slightly on my inner corner. Okay, so I do have powder underneath my eye to kind of catch any fallout, and to be honest, there wasn't really any. Apart from the Classified shade, nothing really fell out of that at all. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of Guilt Trip and I'm going to place that sort of in the middle, just to be in keeping with the sort of halo spotlight we've got going on here. Then I'm going to grab just this e.l.f. flat liner brush and grab Top Secret, which was the green shade, and I'm just going to stamp this really close in at my lower lash line. I'm going to grab the M433 and grab a little bit of Access right on the tip, and I'm going to just run that a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do the other eye off camera to catch up and do my eyebrows, and then I'll be right back. So this is the final look, and as you can see, basically the shadows, all of the shadows that I used anyway, applied amazingly. The swatches from earlier on in the video might have been a little bit of a kind of, oh, they don't look too bad, or oh, they look really, really crappy, but I think, especially with the Top Secret shade, that really didn't look nice in a swatch. But when I applied it to my eye, now I have to stress this, don't swirl your brushes in the shadows. Pat it. You really don't need a lot of product. I was kind of scared because I seen how pigmented they were in that, and I was very, very gentle going in. Go in slowly with it because you don't need an awful lot of pigment, and with a green like that as well, it'll go really muddy really quickly, so you don't want to kind of go ham on it anyway. But yeah, I think that kind of shows, I mean, that's, to me, absolutely amazing. I'm completely in love with that. That guilt trip shade is absolutely insane. The thing that I wanted to point out the most is the shimmer shades in this palette, at least. You don't need a sticky base. You don't need to wet your brush. You don't need to use your finger. You can use your finger, but these, they work dry. They work on unprimed eyes, or eyes with already shadow on top of them, because I sometimes find with like hooded lids and that, if I use concealer, then it starts to get really chunky. So being able to put this on without having to use a primer or a concealer underneath to make it vibrant is insane. I mean, look at the kind of vibrancy of that gold shade. It's just insane. So yeah, I mean, this palette gets a thumbs up from me. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Obviously, if you want to see the rest of the reviews on the bulk collection, I'll be doing a video for each of them. Then either subscribe to my channel or check back on Monday, Wednesday or Friday when I do my uploads. I'll be doing a separate video for each of the palettes, and then I'll do a complete video at the end with my entire thoughts. I really wanted to go in depth and properly test these out for you. They are expensive, but you are getting a really good deal. I mean, you're getting 4 palettes, 4 full-size palettes at the end of the day, and you really do want to make sure that you are spending your money wisely. I think it may be sold out in a lot of places, but I know they will be bringing it back. So I'm going to stop rambling now, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!